All right, we're coming right along with Connie. This is episode 5. And since episode 4, what I showed you last time was how to get that big spring off. And I often just come up with a hack to get the mower to where it'll start and then shut off, and without spending a lot of money on it. That's kind of my thing. So as you'll notice here with this kill switch, I put a much weaker spring on that. Nothing fancy, just something that is going to work, okay? And that's the old cable. And what I urge you guys to do is to keep these cable ends. They unscrew. Just unscrew it off the end of the cable and pull that rusted thing out. Try and get as much of it out as you can. You may be able to use it if you just want something to shut it off, which is what this is. So I've reinstalled the end here, put a weaker spring on it, save the cable in, run the cable through that. That's just metal, so there's no plastic housing. And I've got a junction here of 2 cable ends, and then it goes up to the handle like it normally does. But you can see that I don't have the big sleeve, but this should work. So I'm going to compress the handle, and then you guys watch here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See, it opens all the way up, and then when I let it go, see, it's a weak spring. So to shut it off, the operator is just going to have to push the little handle forward and it'll turn off. So it's just an on-off switch. It's not, like an emergency shut off. And this allows me to at least test the mower. And that's the way mowers used to be. They didn't have these fancy shut-off brakes on them. So it's going to allow it to start. That's the starting position, so you could pull the cord. And then when you want to stop it, you just push that handle forward. And that's now touching right there. And that's where the spark is, and that's going to kill that. All right, so we've done that. We've checked the flywheel key and it's fine. Removed our big old wasp nest. We've installed our muffler, and I did have to replace that wheel like I showed you in the very beginning. And it's on there just as it will do with, there's no cut level adjuster. It's just bolted in there with a wheel bolt. But it's going to function, it's going to roll around. There's the muffler I installed. So let me put the camera down, and we're going to work on some more things in episode 5 and see what we can get working here. Okay, so really this mower is about to where you could start it. I put an old plug in here that I'm going to test, make sure it's good. The gap on that coil looks like it's going to be okay. There is a little too much oil in here, so let me show you that. Because what will happen when you overfill these with oil, which a lot of people do, as soon as they start to have trouble with them, like it start running right or running rough, they'll think, oh, it must be oil, and they start putting oil in there. Or they'll change the spark plug. That's the 2 typical things. But that's usually not what it is. It's usually fuel related. So let's take a quick look at this dipstick here. This is on the Pulsajet. And you're going to see the oil level. Make sure I'm showing it to you right. Okay, you see that? That's too much oil. I'm going to wipe it off now and show you where it should be. Okay, you never want the oil to be above that line. That's full, and he's got it up there. So we're going to get some of that oil out of there. I'm not going to waste your time doing that right now, but I just wanted to show you that. That's one of the other many things you want to check. Now we're going to get this rewinder on here. Maybe be able to pull a cord in this episode. Let's see. So all right, next I wanted to show you this. These are little subtle things that you're not going to necessarily see yourself. You see this piece right here? This is one piece. And it goes back to there, okay? There is a little nub right there. See that? Right there, okay? And the edge of the rewinder, if everything's installed properly, is going to come in right here and little spark plug cable. The spark plug cable's got to come out where that little dip is, right in there. That way you're not cutting it with this sharp edge. It comes out there. So I'm trying to get that lined up for you. And sometimes you have to manually move that thing over. It doesn't necessarily want to go there. Okay, so now, okay. Let me show you that. So you want this spark plug cable coming out that little rise in that piece. If you have it over to this side or you have it over to this side, you can actually cut this cable and damage it pretty badly. But see, since it's in that correct location, it moves easily. That's what it needs to be loose there, see? Okay, so we got that. And now I'm going to show you this, make sure it's on. Okay, see how the edge of that is sitting on that little nub right there? That little nub. That's what you want. Okay, that's on this side. And then on the other side, you got this hole, and what came off of there is this. My hands are so dirty, I kind of hate to touch my phone, but okay, so this is what came off of this side. And so this is going to be on the outside of the edge. The other one is under the rewinder lip. This is on the outside. So you're going to put your little 3/8 head screw right in there. And then this piece holds the spacer. Oh, that's good. The magnet's holding it for me. That's always nice. This is gonna hold the spacer, which is this, and that little dip there. And that's important because if you cinch this down without this spacer in there, you can crack your tank and ruin it. So we got to make sure that is in there. And let me pull the camera out this way so you can see how I'm going to do this. Hold on. Okay. Let me angle this a little bit so you can see that better. There we go. I'm going to try and get my my little magnet thing here. There's 3 screws that are going to hold this housing on. I'm going to go ahead and get all 3 of them here. We're going to do this one first. I don't necessarily always do it this way, but that's where we're going to do it today. So that goes there. And I always like to start this and put 1 or 2 turns on it. See that? There we go, that's lining up real good. Put 1 or 2 turns on, at least just get it started, okay? And that kind of holds this in place for when you install the tank. Let me snug that up at least with my fingers, there we go. Okay, and then I install the tank through that. Then the other one, there's one screw that goes in the front here. It's right next to the spark plug wire. I'm not going to move the camera around there, but make sure that's lined up. Okay, got that one started. And then we're going to do one over there that I showed you earlier. Get it started. Okay. And now we're gonna cinch these down. I'm gonna get my cordless drill for that. Where did it go? Okay, here it is. So that's your do a 3/8 on this. 3/8 socket. I'm gonna hold this kind of up in there. Put a couple of turns on there. All right, I'm gonna put several on the front. Make sure that spark plug wire is still moving around in that gap. Get this one over here. Okay, so that rewinder is pretty darn secure. Okay, so now we could go and test this and see if it fires and see if we think it's gonna run. There's no gas tank on there, but that's okay. We're just gonna pop a little starting fluid in there, and we're gonna see if this mower fires or not. So let's get the camera out there and we'll check her out. Pretty exciting. Episode 5 for Connie. I'm gonna pull the cord on this thing. That's always the exciting part. Let me walk this out there and set up the tripod. Hang on. There we go. Okay. All right, let me go get that mower. Okay. This wheel, funny enough, is actually the bad one. It's kind of wonky and hanging out. Go get the starter fluid. Now obviously there's no discharge chute on there, so when I pull this cord I'm going to be standing way over to the left, and all I'm really wanting to find out is if it's going to fire or not, because I really don't want to run it, especially when it's over full of oil like that. It may smoke because it's been too full of oil. We're just trying to see if this thing can even be saved, so here we go. Okay, so you guys heard that. That means this mower is gonna run. And this was just basically a throwaway, left out in somebody's yard, forgotten. But this is gonna be cutting some grass for somebody someday. When I get it all finished, I'll pull it again for you and we'll see it running. That's it for today.